the Coen brothers had Blood Simple. Sam Raimi had Evil Dead. George Clooney had Return of the Killer Tomatoes. And a lot of us had The Television Executive.
I can't believe it!
I think when I think about my involvement in the Television Executive, I look back at that as, you know, a goofy little college project we did just to keep ourselves entertained. But I also think back at it and I say, holy crap, we've been ripped off a lot of times.
Yeah!
Every show that we put on there has become a show. And we put them on there to say, this is how stupid television is becoming. Ha ha ha. And we were right.
You know, there's a lot of talk about how the Television Executive was really ahead of its time in terms of a lot of the shows that we did on it are now real shows. You don't really hear a whole lot about how ahead of its time My Hair was. The comb-over, bleach blonde style, you know, that was 1997. You know, you see it a lot today. You see everyone do it today. Back then, I was pretty much, I'm going to call myself a pioneer.
What that?
Number one, basic training. It was a show about people in basic training.
What do you think this is, soldier?
Which is now a show. Number two, oh, and this one gets me because there are two of them. Psychic detective. We came up with the psychic detective. Solves a crime. Okay, first of all, there's a show with the exact same name, I believe, on Court Television. Alright, on top of that, there's a fictional show about fake psychic detectives called Psych. We came up with two derivatives of a show that we came up with to say, wow, this would be stupid. Two.
Yo, come on, man. It was a good show.
Hey, you got a gun, man. You got a gun, Fishbone.
No, I got a gun. You want
Right, man, yeah.
I think the most interesting part of coming up with the character of Fishbone was the traveling that I had to do. You know, I really wanted to get into the character. I wanted to bring a sense of authenticity to the role. And I know Chris was depending on me to do that, so I actually traveled to New Amsterdam. I spent a lot of time there with the sort of stoner culture, just kind of getting in there, spending, you know, hitting the red light district a little bit. And I really wanted to feel what it would be like as a person, as a character. I wanted to know who first started smoking weed. You know, I think that that's important to know. I wanted not only a character history, I wanted a whole cash crop marijuana history. I wanted to know these things. Smoking weed, while not probably the best thing for you, I mean, let's face it, folks, it's out there. It's out there and it's not going away. Legalize it? I don't know. Would Fishbone say to legalize it? Yes, I think it's safe to say he would. Gone with that football player to the bus. He wanted me to paint a weed leaf onto his football helmet. I've never painted before, but I said, hey, what the hey. So I spent a little time with that football team. I wanted to get down there, so I went to Africa. I said, hey, Chris, I'm going to Africa. Give me a plane ticket, baby. He wrote out a check. I hit Africa, spent some time in Sudan, no weed. I spent some time in the Congo, no weed. South Africa, I found weed. And so I spent a lot of time down there, you know. There's a lot of celebrities that like to go there today. Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, you know, they pick up kids there all the time. What else do they pick up? Yeah, that's right, weed. So we spent a little time talking about it. And I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. Even in New Amsterdam, I wasn't getting it. And so I was very frustrated. I went to eat at a seafood restaurant. It was actually called Hudson's on the Wharf, which was, you know, I thought was interesting. And I ordered salmon, at least I think it was salmon, and I actually choked on a fish bone. And I coughed it up, and once I cleaned it off, I saw what it was, and I said, fishbone. Fishbone. Here is my character.
Hey, what are you guys doing?
What?
I can't show this.
Let's see, what else was on there? Everything that was Braveheart the series, pitched. Everything that we came up with has become another show. I can't even understand this. There's not even a point to this show.
Give me the money. That's it?
It was fun playing two different characters. With the Television Executive, I was more of sort of guy who, you know, looked down a lot. For whatever reason, I like to, you know, look down whenever I was talking to someone. With the psychic detective, I like to do this a lot, you know, so that was cool. I think I probably liked the television executive more because it showed off more of my hair.
Oh, what am I to do?
I can't even believe this. We started out with just bullshit. It was bullshit. We're like, ha 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 ha, bullshit. Hey, someone will pop up under the desk and pitch a show. Ha ha ha, that show is being made. Hey, let's have a show about vegetables that pass on values and stuff. Veggie Tales. Everything was taken from us.
It was really great to work with Chris Hudson, you know, the director of the film. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was his first film that he ever directed. And I mean, you know, in retrospect, you're talking about the guy who went on to direct, you know, Afternoon of the Living Dead. And to work with him on this project was really great. The only thing, we did have a couple issues, some controversy over my hair. For a long time, he was known for his hair.
Fresh, new.
And so we kind of went with a different look with mine, and clearly it worked out for the best.
As an actor, or really as a not actor, I have to say my interaction with Chris Hudson, I mean, it goes like this. First of all, you usually expect that it's the star of the show who's going to show up drunk. And, you know, maybe occasionally the producer, because what's a producer really do anyway? Nobody knows. Drink. When the director shows up drunk and or on speed, and let's face it, he's got his ups and downs. Unfortunately, when he's down is when he shows up drunk, and when he's up is when he shows up, you know, on speed. You're
Cockroach love.
Well, working with director Chris Hudson was, I mean, it was fantastic. He gave me probably the single best piece of advice as an actor I've ever heard. And it all started, basically what he said was, you have a tree, and the tree, of course, has a shadow. And he posed the question to me. He said, Jay, does the shadow know it's a shadow? Does it see itself as its own entity? Or does it see itself necessarily as, whether, regardless of you have the shadow changes with the sun. And the tree always remains. It's just the environment around the tree. I mean, of course, they're both changing, but on the inside we change too. And hey, I mean, I cast a shadow, it's right there. You know, I know you can't see it but at home, but it's there. And me. And think of it as its own thing. Is it part of this shadow kind of world? So, I mean, I think Chris really helped me get into that role by making me see how much we change on the outside and the inside.
When I think about my favorite show, I'm going to say we had the idea that we pitched, that we actually cut from the original TV executive, because it just wasn't, we didn't think that anyone would buy off on it. The idea where the people crash their plane and end up on an island filled with things like polar bears and dinosaurs and crap. And we just were like, okay, that is like stupid, you know, high school gamer bullcrap kind of show, and nobody is even going to think that you could ever make a show like that. So when I think back on it, I don't know. I'm glad they never ripped that one off. But when I think back on it, I'm proud of that one because it's something that I still think would probably be a good show and has never come up.
Isn't that Lost?
Oh. Yeah, I guess that show could be Lost. I watched the first season of it on DVD. I saw some similarities, but we were talking about a smaller airplane, maybe like a Cessna.
What are you laughing at? Something funny? Am I a clown? Do I amuse you?
Chris is known. I mean, he's kind of a director's director, you know. When he wants something, he's gonna get it. So playing all those roles was really it was a challenge. I don't know how, you know, the Lindsay Lohans do it. I don't know how I did it. It was, bar none, the most difficult, demanding, and fulfilling experience of my life.